Okay, so there's a couple more things that I wanted to show just really quickly, just because they fulfill the requirements of the original portfolio that I didn't put in the portfolio that I mocked up. And that's an image. So we're going to put an image in this page um, using HTML. Really simple. Positioning it can be a little bit difficult, but we're just going to put an image in here really quick, just so I can show you the process for putting an image in. We're going to put it here in the About section, and basically what we want to do is we just want to say image, img, and then source, src, oops, equals, if I can find my equal sign. And then the two quotes, so the quotes are going to go around it. So we're going to start typing in images. When we type in images, my folder pops up again. I said this earlier, but putting things in a folder, putting all the images in a folder just makes it easier to arrange things. So my image source, image, dog, JPG, and then I'm going to save that. So when I go back to my site, it should just put the image in here. Boom. Okay, so I've put an image in. This is kind of inline. You can move the image around. Like if I wanted to put the image over here on the right, I could do that. But for now, I just want to show you how to put an image in. Um, and the other thing that we're supposed to do is at least have one link to another page. So you should have a link to another page. So I'm going to put my, down here in my contact, we'll put my email address in here at mcusd.org. And that's my school email address. But right now, if I save that and I refresh, that just shows the email address. It doesn't actually make a link to it. So I'm going to put a hyperlink into this to show you how to put a hyperlink to email. And I'm also going to put a link somewhere else. I'm not sure where yet, but I'll put a link somewhere else, just so that you can see how a link would work within a page. Okay, to make a link, the tag for a link is an A, which stands for anchor. I'm not really sure, but so we would make an anchor tag. So an A tag is a link, and we would say href equals, and what we want to do is we're going to say mail to, and we're going to put a quotation mark there, and a quotation mark there, and then we're going to say, so this here is going to be what text you see on the screen. Inside the anchor tag is where the link is going to take you. And the reason why I put a mail to here is because if you use that mail to tag, when I click on this link, it'll actually bring up my email. So that it's automatically sending an email. It's not a normal link which takes you somewhere else. We're trying to email. So this mail to tag will make it so that when we click on the link, it will bring up our mail, and we're going to send an email to that address. So let's save that and go back. Let's refresh this. Let's refresh this. Okay, so we changed the text so it just says my name. It doesn't say the email address. And then when we click on it, it would bring up my email. So when we go here, I don't really love the color. We could change the color of this link. But if I click on this, it would bring up my email, and then I'll be automatically sending an email to that email. And if you look down here in the lower left-hand corner, it says where you're going to email that. That's to my school email address. So the last thing is, let's just look at sending a link. Let's do this. Let's actually make this entire image. Let's make this entire image a link. So we're going to start with an A tag, again, anchor tag. That's telling us where to send it. And then we would just put in href equals, and then our double quotations. And then in there, you're going to tell it where to direct the traffic to. So I'm going to say HTTP. This is just my This is my flag football site, and then I'll get rid of this. Okay, so this is my link. This is the image, and then this closing A tag is the close of our anchor. One thing I didn't mention earlier about an image is one of the few things that does not have a closing tag. I think if I put a closing tag for an image, I think it wouldn't really affect anything, but it's something that's not necessary. In fact, it doesn't even come up automatically with Visual Studio Code. So I would just leave it out. So we've got our link, and then we've got an image, and then we've got our closing our link tag. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Let me refresh this. Okay, so here's again, my link to my email. And then if you notice my cursor, when it comes over here, it's a pointy finger. This is not very good design because it doesn't really tell you that this is a link, but the pointy finger gives you a hint that this is a link. So we're going to click on Puppy Dog here, and then that's going to take us to my external site, which is on the internet, which is my flag football site. So anyway, so I put a link into this. You can also put this exact same link. We could move it, and you could connect it to, let's get rid of that, and then you could connect it to a piece of text. So we could just put it here randomly. And then on the other side of these two words, we would close our tag. So then when we save that, these words should become the link on the page. So let's take a look at that. See if I saved it. And then let's go back. Refresh this. Okay, so that took the link out of the pupper, and then it made it on these comfortable carrying. So we'll click on that. Our link is now there. So anyway, that's how you put a link in. I think that should pretty much cover all of the requirements for the project. I know that some of you made a second page. So if you had a second page, you could just put a link to your second page. Let's say, for example, that you linked your second page. Your About Me stuff was actually on its own page. You could just simply put a link to your About Me page, and then that would be something that you could click on to get to the next page of your website. So anyway, I hope that you guys are enjoying this project, getting a little bit of coding under your belt, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thanks.